So Victor Osimhen scored his 7th Champions League goal of the season. This is the first extra time goal scored by a side from Turkey in the Champions League. It sent Galatasaray as well on to the next round, where they will face either Liverpool or Tottenham in the next round.
Two teams that they beat already very recently. Last year in the league phase, Spurs of Europa League, and this season against Liverpool in the league phase of the Champions League.
So would you say, Nigel, on paper, they'll like their chances against either of these teams?
They better get the job done at home, because we've seen how awful they are away from home. And I think if anything right now, if Galatasaray, you probably want to play Tottenham Hotspurs.
Of course.
Because I would have to say that Tottenham Hotspurs right now, their priorities might be shifting to Premier League survival right now than Champions League.
I don't think Galatasaray will be scared of either team. I know it's weird to say, but they'll feel that they've got the home advantage, because, to Nigel's point, but also they've got the equaliser. When you've got that man there behind you that can score, they'll fancy their chance against anyone.
If it's Liverpool, it's their great at home Galatasaray, and Liverpool great at home at Anfield on Champions League nights as well.
Can they beat them at Anfield?
No, it was in Istanbul.
So you've got two teams where the history's there with the fan base, and at home, their home is their sanctuary. But then if they face a Tottenham Hotspurs, who are in a relegation fight currently right now, they're not having a great time at home, and then Galatasaray will be the better team at home, I would say that they probably would fancy more so to play a Tottenham Hotspurs.
Of course, I think every single team in Champions League would rather play Tottenham right now than Liverpool.
Look at it from the Galatasaray perspective. Yes, these other teams have quality in certain areas, but they won't be fearful. They won't think this is a Liverpool team of a few years ago. They'll be like, OK, this is a team in transition. We can beat them. You know, you've just won a game. Again, granted, you should have won it.
Made hard work of it.
Yeah, made hard work of it, but you still won. I've never played a game of football, and I'd be really interested in you, when you win, that you don't feel better about yourself.
I've played a few.
Where you've won and never felt better about yourself.
If for a game like that, I don't think I think the best thing is, all right, we got the job done. Let's go home, and you're probably going to have to review that game and have a real meeting.
Why do you think today, even though they won, was a bit damaging for them?
The performance was not great. It was completely damaging. Juventus went a man down and still dominated Galatasaray and had the better, bigger, clear chances in the game. That is not for me. If you're talking about moving forward and wanting to create a winning culture, winning mentality, you have to analyse the good, the bad, and everything. And today, that was awful by Galatasaray.
They
got the job done.
They will do that, but they'll also go, we've got through. We come through a real difficult game, a terrible performance. We still got through. We still scored goals. We'll have to look at things and make it better, but it doesn't make us feel that we're less. So which game do you take? Do you take we spoke about this with Juventus a little bit earlier. Do you take the Juventus
or the result? Do
you take the Juventus game from the first leg and go, that's who we are? Or do you take the second game and say, that's who we are?
Yeah.
So again, there's pros and cons to it all. I feel that they handled the game poorly. I think there's loads of things they can look at and go, right, we could be better. But we still got Osimhen, we still score goals, we're still through, and we still got a chance.
For the first time in 12 years, Galatasaray has a team, especially because of Osimhen, that will make opposition, doesn't matter who it is, if it's Liverpool, if it's Spurs, if it's anybody in Europe at the moment, to think twice.
Yep.
Right? Going back to the Drogba, Schneider, Felipe Melo days. It's been 12 years since then. They made a Champions League quarterfinal when they got past Schalke and made it into that next round. So now they do have that sort of player that can produce magic. And at Istanbul, they have to win. It doesn't matter if you're playing Spurs or you're playing Liverpool. You need to make yourself strong at home. But I'm questioning the psychology of Galatasaray. And which Galatasaray will we get, right? Because before the first leg, which will be at home against either Spurs or Liverpool, they're going to be coming off of an Istanbul derby against Besiktas.
Yeah.
Galatasaray just lost this past weekend. They don't often lose in the Turkish Super League. They lost to Konyaspor. And Fenerbahce is nipping at their heels constantly, who they also drop points, by the way, after Galatasaray lost. So not great for Fenerbahce either. But the domestic race is paramount as well for Galatasaray. So they're going to have to learn how to balance.
What would you say they get judged on more?
Turkish Super League.
Yeah.
Anything from here on, I think you're almost expected in a way, or it's almost justified if you lose to Spurs or Liverpool. More Liverpool than Spurs, obviously, right? Yeah. But if you lose a Turkish Super League after winning it back to back to back, I think there's going to be questions about this project with Okan Buruk and if it's run its course.
It's interesting as well to think of the future of Victor Osimhen, because when he left Napoli, obviously he didn't leave in the best of terms, and he pushed a move. Right now we see him really thriving with Galatasaray. How much has his stock risen, Nige, in this Champions League campaign alone?
I really think that his stock's pretty much stayed the same. I look more so.
You don't think it's come back up again?
I mean, he's doing what I expected him to do. You know, I think the question was the surprise of how maybe a Premier League side didn't go in for him and why they didn't go for him. It's more of the question, why didn't someone go for him? What's wrong with him? Is it representation? Is it all these different questions? But for me, the attributes that he has are strong enough where I feel he can be very impactful for any Premier League team he joins. They don't make strikers like him. His hold-up play probably could improve a bit more. But my thing with Victor Osimhen is this. If he's not scoring goals, he will be creating and making something happen for teammates around him. And even in today's game, I don't think people give him enough credit for the hard work he does off the ball. We've watched now both legs of this Champions League competition where I've seen him sprint from the edge of an opponent's box all the way back to his box to make a tackle and to help his team in a defensive manner. He doesn't get credit for that. And people don't want to pay attention to it. We see it, but some people won't pay attention to the hard work he does. And even in today's game, he got a yellow card early for chasing back and clattering into Weston McKennie, which then obviously he had to tame himself down to make sure he managed to finish the rest of the game. But for me, his stock is high. I would go in for him. I can't answer for all these other clubs and their reasons why not. I think he's one of very few natural number 9, old school number 9s left in the game.
Yeah.
Interesting, no celebration today.
No, that was interesting. Again, obviously, he's spoken recently, hasn't he, that he spoke with Juventus before leaving to go to Galatasaray. I think, you know what, I didn't see the celebration like that as a message to Juventus. I saw it more of a frustration to his team, like, that's the only time you're giving me a chance now? You know, in extra time, and that's how I read that. 105 minutes in, and
me too.
That's the first time you're giving that. What I love about him, and I've showed Nigel the messages I've had with people that know him. If you talk about him just as a footballer, he's top 5 strikers in world football. So you said about the Premier League, every league would want him. He's physical, he's strong, rough around the edges. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't look the silkiest. He's not a Harry Kane type. When you watch him and go, well, technically he's very, very good. You go, oh, but he'll bash you about. He can link the play, he can run in behind, scores goals, which is the most important. But a lot of why he hasn't moved on has been financial. It's all been financial reasons. A value that he places on himself, that he wants, and clubs aren't ready to prepare to meet that. So I think when you start to look at him, his stock is always going to be high. If you talk about him just as a footballer, I think you'd find probably 1 or 2 in world football that are better at him in every department. You agree?
I think he's quality. It's shocking that he ended up in Turkey because his quality was through the roof. You expect him to make a Premier League move, and the fact that the reason that Galatasaray is here is because of Victor Osimhen, right? So it definitely puts them on the map as a Champions League team that you have to take a beat and say, watch out, there's a world-class player, right? He's one of the best in his position in the world on the field.
How are you boys feeling after that game?
It was an incredible match, right, Ale? I mean, to watch it here in the stadium is incredible, and then you get a better experience when you have Alessandro inviting us to his suite. I mean, the stadium was behind them. The team showed so much heart, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
Oh, yeah, I mean, for the Champions League, it's a great game. For Juventus, of course, a little bit disappointed because they play so well, even 10 versus 11. They create more. I mean, at the end, you really say, well, we missed too much. After, that the Zagreba, yes, there's a chance for the 4-0, and then can probably unlock everything. But it is what it is. The problem for Juventus was the first leg. You can't lose 5-2 away. It's going to be difficult for every team. So they perform well. They pride. They make the fans happy in terms of what they give on the pitch. That is very important. And I think they bring, with the victory, some kind of energy, I hope, for them, because they need to run in the league, because they go to Rome next game. If they're going to lose, they probably say goodbye to the Champions League for the next year.
Marco, I'm a little bit offended for you that Puppy also didn't describe you as an Italian icon. In my eyes, Marco, you are an Italian icon from this part of the Atlantic Ocean. Where do you guys think this leaves Juve at the moment?
Ale, I mentioned to you before about Spalletti. I think there's at least a sense of a group. I just spoke to Conceição as well, and he said the fact that there is unity in the team and that Spalletti has pushed the right strings is a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they help each other, but and they perform really well today. Nothing to say. 100% agree. But then you look back, a few days ago and performance against Como, and you say, why? Why, guys? Why there's no energy? Why nobody help each other in the way that you're gonna? You play against Como. It's difficult, but it's a direct opponent for the Europa, even Champions League or Europa League or whatever it's gonna be.
Easy, not yet.
Well, now they won 1 point behind only.
I know.
So you need to lock that game and win that game. You play at home. I don't care how. So that lack of energy, it's the question mark for me.
And I would add on top from Nico's question, also the quality of players. I think it needs to get to a different level. For me personally, I think we're looking at a Galatasaray that has one, if not two, center forwards that are better than Juventus' center forwards, if I say the truth myself.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, just on the game itself, I've just had a heated debate with Christina Uncle about the sending off for Lloyd Kelly. For me, I think it's possibly the worst decision in football that I've seen. Nigel and Nico think it's a yellow card. How did you guys see it there at that moment?
It's bad when Troy is sticking up for the Italian teams. It's
talking
true.
about Kelly?
Kelly, yeah.
It's not even a foul.
I agree.
From my point of view, because he's keep looking on the ball. He doesn't know where it's gonna land. I mean, guys, you cannot. If you look away, you can't predict where you're gonna land. I mean, that's is a bad decision. I have no words, and I'm not talking because I'm a Juve guy. I mean, I'm talking because in terms of football, you can't predict where you're gonna land after that high jump and fighting in the air, and you keep looking and I go down. Do you really think that I did it on purpose? And also these things, about you provocate something, even if not with your. That you want to, but it happened that you injured someone. But you need to consider that as well, especially in a game like this. I mean, for me, it's not the way that football should go.
I've never wanted to hug Mr. Del Piero more in my life, but now I do have a question, right? Because I was speaking to Marco yesterday. Marco was with R9, who is my greatest player of all time. The reason I played football was because of R9. There were some legends there, and Marco couldn't even get his words out. We've got pictures of him stroking Ronaldo's face. I just wanted, Mr. Del Piero, for you, who is the icon that would make you act the way that Marco did yesterday?
When I was a kid, I had a poster, on my room of Platini. So, and I was a Juve fan, and at that time, when I grew up, number 10, of course, I was looking for number 10. Number 10 was Platini, so Platini for me was definitely my idol. Yes, and I met him, and I was speechless the first time when I was 20 years old. We won the Champions League, and he came inside the locker room and said, "Whoa, what's going on here? Platini, for real, Michel, Leroy." So I understand, Marco. Don't worry, it's okay. It's gonna happen.
Somebody understands me. I'm happy, Troy. We're back to getting rid of the compliments. I feel more at home like this. I miss that, Troy.
Right, bigger picture. So I got one more. Bigger picture with all of the Italian football at the moment. Atalanta going through. Marco, you know my stance on the younger managers. I feel that it needs these younger coaches who still understand the importance of defending and doing it the Italian way, but to now have an impetus on attacking. Does this move the needle now in terms of where Italian football goes from a coaching point of view?
I mean, for me, it's unbelievable that Atalanta was a team not too long ago that was bouncing between Serie A and Serie B, and now the only Italian team that's left in the competition. It's something unthinkable, but I love Palladino's ability to adapt. They have a very good squad. They were missing injuries, but I think that they just play such a smart brand of football when it comes to Europe.
And they sell Lukman recently. Yeah. That is a big guy for them, and other players. But we already talk about that and spoke about that, about Atalanta, the way that they play. That is in Italy, is the team that is more similar of European teams in terms of intensity, in terms of the way that they understand football. Even now, before with Gasperini, of course, and they won actually in Europe, but they keep going now with Palladino as well. So it's not something that we in Italy are surprised, to be honest. We are surprised the fact that they're still going every year. That's amazing for them because they're selling the best players and they keep discovering new players and keep going. Yes.
I'm surprised we didn't hear from Nigel the entire segment, by the way. I think it's the longest I've ever not heard from him.
You know why he's upset? Nigel, why don't you say why you're upset? You saw
not upset.
Marco in the glasses that Del Piero gave to you. Is that right, Marco? We didn't hear from you guys earlier, but remember Nigel wanted them so badly.
I was promised
We have a new guest, guys.
We have the man of the moment here joining us live. Forget about the glasses here. It's an incredible night for you guys.
It was very stressful.
I can imagine.
It was a big surprise for me as a score, and we conceded 3 goals, and my expectation was different from this game after 11 against 10. But they really deserved to win today. We were lucky.
What were the emotions that you felt? Obviously, it's a stressful game, but once the final whistle went through and you realized that you were able to go through, what was the feeling like?
Yeah, we are in last 16. It was very important for Galatasaray and for Turkish football. But after this game, I don't know. This is very complicated. In the dressing room, the players also was a little bit sad about our football. And but I said them, guys, we are in last 16, and you have to celebrate that. And okay, we will play next game. Not will be like that, but it was a big surprise for me. 11 against 10, we conceded 2 more goals.
Congratulations, fantastic. We have our studio team here if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask.
Hi, Okan. How are you? Congratulations on going through to the round of 16. This is a big moment. We were having a conversation about Victor Osimhen, and it almost feels like Can you hear us? Yeah?
Marco can hear you. Just speak.
Just ask him, Marco, ask him about how important Victor Osimhen is to this Galatasaray team.
Nico would love to know how important is Victor Osimhen to this team. I mean, he's fantastic the way that he plays and the way that he runs, presses the team.
No, he's not as a player, as a personality also very important for us. We saw he's a striker, but he was defending like a central defender, and he's big character for us, and he's a big player. I think one of the best players we saw in in Turkish football is very important for Galatasaray. Also for my game, and is a game changer. But we could prepare more position for him. We didn't play some very important last passes to him. If we do that, he will score more.
Fantastic, yeah. And I heard some of his interview, by the way. I was catching it, and he talked about the performance and wanting to be better and wanting to go forward in the next round, which I think says a lot about your team and about Victor.
Yeah. Well, you know, first game we were amazing. We played like Juventus in today, but second game we didn't play, and he want more always from the other players, from us, more than this.
Fantastic. Any more questions, guys?
Marco, just one question for the coach. When you have a game like the first leg and then you have a game like the second leg, what does he have to work on now to get that level of consistency, and how does he go about that to get a more consistent Galatasaray performance?
Troy Deeney asks you, how do you find consistency between the two performances? Because, of course, the first leg was fantastic with the 5-2, and then today, disappointing in terms of the performance. You go through to the next round, but how do you find that consistency going forward?
It changed also opposite team and match day is the as a performance, as a player's condition is changing always in match day, but we played very good in home games, and I don't know who will come again, or Liverpool or Tottenham. We played both teams last year, and this year we won against them.
Wow.
Yeah, last year against Tottenham 3-2, this year against Liverpool 1-0, and it was 2 home games, but we will play also away games. We will see how will be our performance, but it was worst performance of Galatasaray today in my 4 years. It was worst performance.
I think it says a lot about your mentality, the fact that you answered in that way.
We will do better.
Any more? Nigel, you got anything for us?
No.
I think that's, we've got to let you go, Marco, we're hearing. Thank you so much, though. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations
Bye-bye.
again.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
I like the honesty.
Yeah.
Worst performance of Galatasaray. That's honesty.
They were this close to capitulating.
Yeah.
And the fact that he says that in the dressing room they were sad, I think speaks volumes of the reality of where this team knows that they can fall into.
And I also like the fact he said about Victor Osimhen as well, about his displeasure in the performance and always desire to want to do more, wanting to do better, which goes to the point where you two made it. It's probably a frustration of not celebrating that goal as well. But it's great that manager says that, and we hope that type of message gets out about how much of a winner he wants.
And the biggest thing out of all of that interview is Mr. Del Piero agreed with Troy. So that's all that matters, right? When an Italian legend says Troy's right, that's all I care about. Just clip that up for me, please, socials. Thank you very much.